Hi, welcome.
Hi. Hey, Scotch.
Hey, good morning.
Good to see you.
How's it going?
It's going. I caught up on Severance last night.
How was it? Wait, where did you leave off on?
I was 2 weeks behind, but I caught up because I knew I was going to see you today. So I couldn't come here and not be,
Let's go.
fully immersed.
What do you think?
Well, dude, I think, episode 7 was like, it was one of the most beautiful hours of television I've ever watched.
This latest one where it goes through.
Not the one where she's in her town, but the Gemma one.
Oh, dude. Okay, so I heard that the DP.
She directed it.
Yeah,
I watched like the after episode thing, which I usually don't do because it kind of takes me out of the zone.
Yes.
But I waited like 30 minutes and then went back and was like, okay. And yeah, she directed it. That's what happens when you let
It's so
DPs
good.
direct episodes.
Like it's unlike any other episode. The composition and the framing is like insane, and then the way that like zooms into his eye and falls somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, like not even like, I mean, those VFX portions were like really sick, but the montage where
Yes.
it kind of like takes you through like the time of the year and like just makes you feel like their love, and it's like the moon and the light changes and it's just those quick cuts and you're just like,
yes.
I like rewatched
Like the montage
that.
where it's Mark and his wife. Right?
Yeah,
Or
and there's
Scott
that
his wife.
like French song playing in the background. Or
It is so beautifully shot. So well done.
it's amazing.
I love that show. I keep telling everybody about it. So I got my best friend onto it, Mike, and then he got his entire family on it. I got my sister on it, and then my sister's obsessed with it. I hope. I don't know.
Well, I feel like probably everyone's heard about it now. You're either in or you're out at this point.
Right. And I feel like when these things happen, like Game of Thrones and everybody's talking about, I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm not watching that. Like it sounds
But now you're
so
on the other side of
stupid.
that.
I did give maybe not Game of Thrones, House of Dragons a try, and I fucking could not stand it. I just can't stand like medieval.
Yeah. You're not a
know.
fantasy guy.
What? Fantasy guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said fan of CEI. I was like, what the fuck? I am not a fantasy dude like Lord of the Rings. No.
Oh, that's my jam.
I know. I'm sorry.
I fucking love Lord of the Rings.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My bad.
To each their own.
Yeah, it's so good though. It's so good. And it's I have no idea what's going on still. And it's been like
There's just
12.
little nuggets that they're just opening up, like revealing more and more, and you can kind of just start to like piece things together, but they're not giving you everything,
no.
which is nice.
No, it's good. So how you been? What's going on?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I leave to go on tour on Tuesday.
In 2 days. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so who are you going on tour with?
This band called the Main Squeeze.
Okay.
They're kind of like a jam funk band. They're
Nice.
awesome.
Nice.
So-
Is this a friend of yours or is this just like a random?
I got in touch with the band through a mutual. The band was a mutual friend of one of my friends.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Is this your friend that I met?
No.
No. Okay.
One of my friends from college.
Okay, sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do they live out here?
The band lives out here. Yeah.
Okay.
The band lives in LA.
How'd you get that? Did you?
So my friend who I went to Penn State with, he grew up with two of the band members. The band, became a band, moved out to LA. And then when I moved to LA, my buddy was like, I got to put you in touch with these guys. Like, maybe something will happen, blah, blah, blah. I'd actually seen them live like 10 years ago.
What?
I mean, we like went to a show of theirs in like Philly or something. And so they've been around for a while, but
Wow.
I went last year. They had, so they do this thing called Squeeze House, which is basically the band has a house that they share, a studio or in Studio City. And every so often they just like put a call out to everyone they know. And it's just like an all evening jam session where like all of these insanely talented, multi-talented session instrumentalists and recording artists just come through. And it's like just from like 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., the music starts and it doesn't stop. And so
Whoa.
it's such a cool thing. Like I really think it's like one of the coolest like underground pseudo
Whoa.
like events.
But is this
type
house
things.
beautiful?
It has a beautiful view.
Okay.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's in Studio City. It's up on the mountain. Like it has a whole panorama of the valley. And funny enough, their new album that just came out is called Panorama. And my photo is their album cover.
No way.
Yeah. So
That's
it's kind of
sick.
all ties in, which is really cool.
Wow. So you leave in 2 days. Is it a bus tour?
It's a van tour.
Oh shit.
Just 8 of us.
Oh my God.
I've never been on tour before. So this is kind of like
Wait,
my
just
first.
one van or multi-van?
I think there's like a people van and a gear van. But
You're
I'm
staying
actually
in
not entirely
hotels?
sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think it's like a hotel situation.
That's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Whoa. How long are you gone for?
About 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay, so that's not too bad.
It's like a low stakes tour.
Yes.
But I'm kind of at the point where I've never experienced tour. We have so many friends that are incredibly talented, like touring photographers. And,
right.
I mean, they're gone for months at a time. I don't think at this point in my life, my 32-year-old self, who is, very much enjoys being cozy and in routines at home, like wants to be on the road for 3 months at a time.
Yeah.
But having coming up, like shooting a lot of shows and music photography back in New York, I've always loved shooting music, and I've never been on tour or had the opportunity to go on tour. So this kind of feels like the perfect little scenario for me to, join them for a couple weeks, shoot a band who I've become friendly with, and also really enjoy their music. I think that's another part of it too. Like, I don't know how, I would assume that our friends that do these tours, that they enjoy the music of the artists that they tour with. But like, for me, if I'm going to spend that much time on the road.
Oh my God. What if you didn't? What if you
I would never
hated
do
their
that.
goddamn music?
For example, Michael toured with Doja Cat, I think last year, or Swedish House Mafia the year before that. Awesome gig. I wouldn't want to be on tour listening to Swedish House Mafia every single night. That's not my jam. So
I do like Doja Cat, so I could do that.
Doja Cat's cool.
Yeah.
Doja Cat's cool.
She's dope.
Yeah.
She's cool. So you like their music? That's good.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm more of a rock and roll kind of guy.
Yeah.
So
Same.
yeah.
Same. But I work in the fucking EDM field. And last night I was like working a show and it was like this insane like bass music, like wah, 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 wah.
Shakes your
with
bones.
all these like Wookiee people who like haven't showered in 4 days. I'm just like, this is so
Oh my God.
obnoxious. And some coworkers I was working with, they were like, oh my God, I love this song. I was like, it all sounds the goddamn same. Like there's no difference between anything. It's just wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
So I would kill myself if I was on like a tour like that. Oh my God. Because even like 5 hours of it, I wanted to kill myself. But
It's hard. I mean, listen, like everyone's got to eat, get
Yeah.
your bag, if that's how you're making money,
Right.
power to you.
right.
But I feel like music is so powerful that it really, if you're listening to that kind of stuff every single day, it's going to affect you if you're not into that kind of music,
Oh my God.
So at least
Yeah.
I love jam music, funk music. Like I can listen to that every night.
Right.
That I can deal with,
That's exciting. Is this something that you've always wanted to do? Like tour?
I mean, for sure. I think now that I'm older, it's a little bit less appealing.
Yeah.
But it's something. It's a bucket list like career activity for sure. So
Is there any way that you're gonna like shoot it differently? Have you thought about like conceptualizing like maybe not tour, but like band photos or like any creative look that may be different from what you're doing right now?
I've thought about it. So I got to shoot their LA stop on this tour. So this is the second half of the tour that I'm joining. So they've already been on the road for a month.
Oh shit. Okay.
And part of that was their LA stop. So they had me shoot that show. And
Was that at the Echo?
yeah, that was at the Echo.
That
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that was my first time like shooting one of their actually like full shows.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave me a nice refresher on how I move through a night like that. And it's hectic. Like I definitely had to take some mental notes as far as like backstage. It's nice to have the flash ready, but then like all of a sudden like you're moving back and forth between like backstage and the main stage, and like I'm not pulling a flash out during the middle of the show. Like I'm not going to distract the band like that. I don't want to draw attention to myself. So I think trying to find like a nice medium between the two and having like a flowy setup is really where I've been trying to like put my mind into it. And then also I'm trying to do like a little tour film afterwards. So trying to plan out like clips of
Yeah.
like how I want to like assemble it, how I want to like pick my spots between shooting video and photo, because I'm just doing it by myself.
Yeah.
And then I've like picked the song ahead of time of theirs that I want to use, and so like
Lovely.
every time I've been going for a run, I listen to that song, and just like the natural running endorphins, I just picture like, okay, like I'm on tour and I'm watching this tour film. What am I seeing in my head when I'm like watching this back to this song? You know,
That's some heavy like prep work. Like you're already thinking about it, already dreaming
I want to do a good job.
Yeah,
I want to do a job.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think also for me, like I'm not always the best prepper when it comes to stuff like this. Like I've always been someone who has to see the footage or like be in a situation and then shoot it and then be like, oh, I can like piece this together. I can like make this work. And like, then I can start to shoot for the edit once I'm there. But I feel like it's always been harder for me, at least, to be like, okay, I'm going to come into this shoot and I'm going to like try to do like a match cut to this. And then I'm going to like, you know, cut to like this soundbite, and then I'm going to do like a masking transition like through this, you know, letter hole, and it's going to reveal like, you know, and then a rocket ship's going to fall from the sky and explode. Do you know Cody Burkhart?
Yeah.
He's great at that.
Yeah.
Cody, like he comes into shoots and he's got a whole iPhone notes of like, okay, I'm gonna, like I was thinking I'll do like this shot and this shot and this shot, and he's just got it all written down. I'm like, wow. It's like, you know, and that's why he's a pro, because he's able to prep like that. But I think it's different for every creative.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I've never been someone who has been able to do that, but I'm trying it out this time for this specifically. Also because I have a little more time. You know, it's 2 weeks. Yeah. So, you know,
dude, you have so much time.
I have time to like plan out like the shots I want to get and just like bits and pieces, because I feel like a lot of what we do is like you show up, you're there for 3 hours, it's crazy, and then it's over, and you're like, fuck it, I hope I got what I needed.
Right.
You know.
This you definitely will get what you need. Are you going to shoot on like film? Are you going to bring a little film camera? Or are you going to bring your Fuji?
I'm going to bring a Polaroid.
Okay.
I'm bringing my Fuji. I'm not going to shoot any film. I haven't shot film in a while. It's just too damn expensive right now, you know? And I have the Fuji and I love it. And it's kind of just replaced what I enjoy about film photography in a certain way. I don't think anything will ever fully replace film photography for me, but I just haven't shot in a while. I think I've just been spending my money on other things, and it gets really expensive to buy and develop film and all that stuff. But I'm gonna bring 2 Sony bodies, my Fuji, and a Polaroid, and I think that should.
I think that's perfect.
Yeah,
I think that's perfect. I mean, I've been shooting with the Fuji like. And a lot of clients are just asking me to shoot with that, like, and getting hired for that, like, filmic look that it has.
Ooh. Which one do you have?
The X100, like the brand new one.
The X106?
Yeah.
Nice. It's a great camera.
Bro, it's so good. I mean, like 40 megapixels, all that stuff. But, like, I paid so much for it.
I mean, you can't, they're not available.
You can't get it.
I had to get mine, you know, secondary market. Yes. When I had to have the X100V. Yeah. So it's like the one before the new one. So.
Right.
But zero regrets. I love that camera. You know, I documented my entire road trip out when I moved to LA on it. And it's just, you know.
It's so fucking good.
It's great for a reason.
It is. It's so small, does a really good job, gets like character and photos that like digital cannot.
Yeah. I also really enjoyed not having to think about changing lenses. I just love the simplicity of like, this is my fixed lens and I'm just going to shoot.
Yep.
You know, and I'm just allowing it just takes that extra step, because I feel like we spend so much time being like, oh, like what lens should I use for this shot, like blah 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 blah, and you know, it at the end of the day, like what we enjoy is the actual making of the photo and creating that image. And I think these, you know, it's like Polaroid and Fuji and some of these companies are understanding that people are trying to just get back to that in a way. Which is nice, you know, because it gets complicated. We're you know, inundated with tools all day long.
It's too many options.
Yeah, it's insane.
Honestly,
you know, and you don't need the craziest stuff at the end of the day. Like all you need is a vision, you know, and you can make it happen. Like the editing tools that we have access to, you can make any photo look like it's, you know, belongs on a billboard more or less.
Actually,
but. You know, but it's nice we've been through the process and we know, like, you know, we allow ourselves these things, you know.
I used to be so gear heavy. And like, oh, I want the best of this. I want the best of this. And then now I'm like, wait, what is like the jankiest camera, or like what is the smallest, most compact camera that can give me the editing like expansion that I can have?
Yeah.
And that's what I love. I got the Fuji. It's just so good. Like the editing that you can do with it. Sorry, I'm like, my brain is not working today. Fucking daylight.
Take another sip of that matcha. Get yourself going. Here, I'll crack this open in solidarity. I'm just like spit that everywhere. Holy shit.
I got that on camera. Oh.
That's staying in.
That's what she said. I got a flash for the Fuji and I just took it up like a whole nother level.
Oh, you did?
Like a little $60 flash that goes on that is powered by like AAA batteries, and it's just like a game changer.
Well, the Fuji has a little built-in flash bar, right?
It does, but
it's not great.
It's not great. You have to like do it on single mode, and like it takes 3 seconds in between shots to load.
It drains that battery real quick.
Dude, drains the battery. This is really great because you can do it on like high continuous mode, and like if I wanted to like shoot flash, daylight, everything like from somebody 5-10 feet away, it will still get them.
I want to see it later.
It's so powerful.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I've actually been thinking about, but then see that then it like kind of defeats the purpose of the whole.
Shut the fuck
up. Again, we allow ourselves these concessions.
Yeah, it will be fun. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
For the viewers and for myself as well. You grew up in Woodstock, right?
Woodstock, New York.
Okay.
845.
How was it growing up there?
It was beautiful.
Well, with the history also of Woodstock there, like everybody, at least in America, knows of Woodstock, the music festival.
Yeah.
If you're tuned in a little bit. And that's what that, is it weird being from a place famous for one particular thing?
I don't think so. I'm never
from Woodstock. Oh, that one band, like, oh, that one festival. Do you get that a lot?
Oh, yeah, every time.
Okay.
But I enjoy it.
Oh, okay,
you
cool.
know, it's fun.
It's a little story. Claim to fame.
Yeah. Actually funny, when I was like, one of my earliest memories, I was like 3 years old. And my parents took me down to see Grease on Broadway. And it, like before the show, they had like a children's like dance competition on the stage or whatever. And I went up there and I won the competition, probably because I was like the youngest kid there.
What?
And
wait, you won a dance competition?
I was like 3 years old. I was probably just like just doing this, you know. And the MC was like, "We're like, what's your name? Like, where are you from?" And I said, "Woodstock," and the whole crowd went, "Ooh!" So that's kind of just how it's always been.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been used to it since like 3 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
Did anything come of that dance competition?
I got a really great oversized T-shirt that never fit me.
Do you still have it? Wait, no, you still have it?
My Nana has it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I gave it to her.
That's cute.
Yeah, it's like her sleeping T-shirt now. One of her sleeping T-shirts. I wonder if she still has it. Honestly, I'll ask her next time I talk to her. She's 93.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
And your grandpa is how old?
He just turned 100.
Wow!
But different sides of the family.
What the fuck?
Mom's mom and dad's dad.
Are there spouses still?
No, they're the only two left.
Okay. So you got like good genes from both sides, long lasting.
Knock on wood.
Yep. I feel like that's fake wood.
Fake wood?
No. Yeah, that's real wood. You're good. Okay.
It's a thought that
counts. I was thinking about one of your photos earlier. I loved growing up on the East Coast. I feel like that was something that was like a real childhood. When I came to LA, it just did not. I don't know. It was just different. It's like, oh, it's pavement everywhere. There's no trees. There's no like real wild grass. It's all planted. Everything's like cinder blocks and like beige. But I was thinking about one of your images where it's like the hillside of like Woodstock or wherever, and there's like long exposure of like lightning bugs in it. Do you remember that photo?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that just brought me back to like childhood. I love that photo. It's still in my head today. I saw it
Thank
like
you,
2 years ago or whatever. But at first I thought it was like a really shitty like Photoshop job. I was like, what is he trying to do here? And then I was like, oh shit, no, these are like fireflies in the countryside. And that was just a huge core memory of my childhood is like we would all get together, all us kids, and go chase fireflies and like put them in a mason jar or something. And I feel like they would die, but which is like not the best. But
The kids, you don't know.
yeah, we would just kill stuff. I was kind of sadistic as a kid sometimes, but it was fun. I loved growing up on the East Coast, and I'm curious, like, would you want to raise a family here or like over there?
I don't know yet.
Because you've only been here for a year.
I've only been here a year.
Yeah.
I definitely, I don't know where I would want to raise a family. I think one way or another, I want to end up back in Woodstock. But I knew I sure as hell did not want to raise a family in New York City.
No.
So when I think as, that story will unfold itself, I think, over time. Yeah. But I really loved and appreciated in hindsight what growing up in the countryside, upstate New York, like gave to me perspective wise. Just, a general appreciation for nature and, really, I feel like I'm one of the few people that I know that really understands what peace and quiet is. Like quiet to me is when it's so quiet that you can hear your ears ring. Like that's quiet to me. Yeah. And I feel like everyone grew up in different places and has different thresholds of what they're used to and, what like that means for them. But, I just love being able to look back and have all those memories of just like running through the woods and, the seasons and the smell of fall and all that stuff. Seasons. Yeah. I missing fall was tough for my first year here. Yeah. I was really like my body knows that something's happening and I'm not seeing it.
Right. And
that was weird.
It's even for me, like 10 years later. No, wait. I've been in California for like 16 years maybe.
That's a long time.
It's 17, 18 years. 18. From Baltimore and from like Washington State and
it was like more than half your life.
A couple other people. I know it's fucked. Or I guess it's great, but it's I'm trying to have gratitude. But I miss fall. I miss like smelling rain when it's coming. I don't know if you have that.
Well, when the couple times of the year that it rains here, I like run outside. I'm like, there it is, baby.
You can smell rain. You can like,
there's a word for it.
Do you know what
I think it's called petrichor or petrichor. I don't know I don't know the exact like pronunciation, but that's like the spelling.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
And it's like the smell of oncoming rain.
Petrichor. Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like having that connection with nature. Like it's ingrained in your body. You know when it's coming, you feel it, you can smell it, your senses pick up on the rain coming, your senses pick up on things happening. Yeah. Like it's just such it's just such a different lifestyle, like way of life.
Yeah. The hush of like the heavy snowfall.
Dude. When
you walk outside and it's like you're in a giant sound box.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Fuck.
People don't get it.
No, people don't get it. Maybe you were here. It was like 85 degrees last week.
It was, toasty.
I had 3 fans on me to go to sleep. I wasn't sleeping with a blanket. I was like, and even then I was too hot still. Winter time. This was February. It's fucked up. And like, I'm like complaining about it like I always do. And people are like, no, I love this weather. I'm like, no, but it's winter. Yeah. Like if this is winter, imagine summer.
Summer's going to be like...
This is not going to be good.
It's going to be hot, hot, hot.
Yeah. And it was like 67 degrees yesterday and I was at the climbing gym. Some dude's like, it's too cold for me here. Like, I hate it here. I was like,
You know, I really try not to complain about being cold in LA. I will say it's the dry cold is cold. Like 60 degrees cold in LA is like 60 degrees warm and humid in New York. Like they feel different.
Oh yeah.
You know,
they do.
They do feel different. But having said that, I'm never going to complain about it. But I'm just, I know that if it's going to be like, 60 or below, bring a hoodie.
Yeah.
Because, 60 degrees, like right now, if you get a 60-degree day in New York, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. Because I've just been in 30 degrees for the last 3 months.
Interesting.
Even like 50, 55 degrees. Woohoo! Summertime,
But here I would like have a jacket on.
Oh, yeah.
Like
55 here
layers.
is like, it's cold. But yeah, so I try not to complain. I will say I miss, like September, October, November, December, January through March on the East Coast. I'm okay without it.
Really?
I'm good without it.
Why?
Because it's just a tease. It's just, February and March, you start to get like a couple warm days here, and then it rains, and then it turns back to snow, and then it's slush.
Okay,
everything's just like wet,
is,
and like after the first snow, the rest sucks.
Correct.
Because then it's just all dirty, and then it's not the same. So I'm okay missing this time of year right now.
Yeah, I don't miss the slush for sure.
Yeah,
that was disgusting. It was nasty.
April through November. Best in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So good.
Did you get cicadas?
Yeah.
When you were a kid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't they come like every 17 years or something?
There's like different breeds or broods.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. There's like the 17-year cicada, and then there's, I don't know. But like, I heard them. They're out at night in the summertime.
Dude.
They're loud. I used to be scared of them because they sound like they're laughing in the woods.
What?
Yeah. It's just like like all night long. And it's like, it's really loud. But now I'm older. Sometimes if I can't fall asleep, I'll like find a like summertime cicadas.
Summertime cicadas
on Spotify. And I'll like put that on and I'll be like, yes. I'll fall right to sleep.
Cicadas. Summertime cicadas. There was another core memory of my childhood. I don't know. For some reason, I'm like, Jack's from the East Coast. He understands. Nobody else is from
I'm here for you, baby.
Thank you. There was this one time, so like I guess the 17-year cicadas or something, 15, 10-year, whatever it is. Like they fucking infest everything, and then they like deshell themselves, like get out of their skin, and so they're just like petrified there, like their shell is petrified there for fucking ever. It's disgusting.
It's creepy, right?
It's fucking disgusting. I don't know. I just, when you said that, reminded me of that. But yeah, the bugs on the East Coast, I'm not a huge fan of. Like LA.
Not many bugs here.
Dude, no.
Surprisingly.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Spiders took like a little bit getting used to. Like when I first moved here, like.
I saw the first spider in my apartment that I've seen since I moved to LA yesterday.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What kind? Do you know?
I don't know. I fucking hate them all. I was just like, spider. Squish.
I'm fine with them. I'll do the little cup thing.
Oh no, I'm like total arachnophobe.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Unless it's a black widow or like a big brown one. If they're like a little small guy, I'm like, what's up, little guy?
Yeah.
I find them cute. I find them cute. I had to get used to it. And one time in San Francisco, there was a lot of spiders up there, actually, at least in my apartment. But they, I was so tired. I got like 0 hours of sleep. Like I was up for 30 hours, for like 36 hours or whatever. And I was like falling asleep, and I open my eyes and look above my bed. There's just a giant fucking spider like on the ceiling right above my bed. Like huge. Not a little black widow, not like one this big. It was like that big.
Like a wolf spider.
No, okay, not that big. But I was just like, oh my God. And I just stood there. I just froze there. I was like, I don't have a ladder. I can't get to this. And I was like, I'm also exhausted. And so I just like went to the little guy. I was like, do not fall on me. And I just like went to sleep.
Oh no!
And ever since then,
dude, they'll like crawl in your mouth.
I've never. Well, I didn't see him the day after, so
maybe you ate it.
I looked for him, or her, or whatever.
That was like a childhood stat. You know how there's like childhood facts that like come up?
Yeah.
I think maybe this might have been a childhood fact.
It's like you swallow like 7 spiders a night or something.
Yeah, some crazy like that. I'm just like, yeah.
Sure.
You swallowed a big boy.
So when did you pick up a camera? Like what age?
First age that I picked up a camera. I don't know. I didn't get my first real camera until 2014 when I studied abroad.
Okay.
And I was like, I want to get a camera to document, studying abroad. But I'd never really had a real camera before that. But I've always just been a visual person. Like my friends and I, we would always make like stupid fun home videos like growing up. And it was just kind of like always in our nature of like making short films or like, stupid short films. But like two of my best friends, their dad was a director. So they were always like, it was kind of in them. And we would just hang out all the time and make funny home videos. And so I think visually that stuff was always kind of in me. But I think it wasn't until I actually like got a camera in my hand and went abroad and started shooting. And I was like, oh, like I really enjoy this. And like, originally I went to Penn State for broadcast journalism. So I wanted to be a sports announcer. So I was doing like student radio, doing play-by-play for, Penn State football and basketball games. I wanted to be like, Kevin Harlan or Jim Nantz or Bob Wischusen like on the radio calling football games. That was my dream.
Wow.
And
do you still have that in you a little bit?
I think I could sit down and call a game if I needed to.
I feel like you could.
Yeah, it's still in me. I used to like close the doors to our TV room growing up, and like if there was a late game on, I would just like turn off the volume and announce the game to myself.
Way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
I love that stuff.
Wow.
I'm a huge sports fan, as you can tell. My Knicks.
No, I know. Yeah.
But then like I think it was closer to around the beginning of senior year. And I kind of realized that they do like a career placement meeting for all the seniors, and they kind of just lay out your life for you based on your majors. Like, hey, like if this is what you're gonna do, like these are the steps that you need to take in order to like get placed in this, in this career field. And my meeting with the guy, it was pretty much like, okay, so for if you want to be like a broadcaster, like you'll have to move to Bumblefuck and call high school soccer to like start your life. And I walked out of that meeting, I was like, nope.
Wow.
I was like, I am not doing that.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So kind of had to like regroup a little bit, but I was really lucky enough to have a great professor, mentor. His name was Kurt Chandler. He's since passed away. But he was one of the multimedia professors at Penn State. I'd taken a couple of his classes, and he kind of gave me I like explained my situation to him, and he gave me a little bit of like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and allowed me to do an independent study as credits in order to graduate. And that independent study was I got to just spend a whole semester making a short documentary. And so I got into like narrative journalism and like documentary style journalism and stuff like that.
Whoa,
and so
what the fuck?
Really, that was kind of where I learned how to just shoot, edit, do audio, light, do everything all at once, at a college level. But that was where that foundation came for me. Just like going out, driving out, talking to people, interviewing subjects, knowing when, I had to like have extra batteries on me, remembering to bring an SD card, like miking up people, just all that stuff, just one man banding it in college. And that was kind of how like picking up a camera started for me, more or less, like in a professional sense. But I ended up doing 3 documentaries out of college. And then I was like, oh, I think like I want to keep doing doc. I ended up working at a, sorry, call me. Sorry, Dad. I'll talk to you later. I ended up working, I moved to Buffalo out of college. Worked at a film consortium for 7 months.
What's a consortium?
I think it's like a film group.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like some guy bought a building. He was like, I'm gonna create a film consortium in Buffalo and make a documentary about Buffalo. Long story short, it all folded and flopped. So I ended up moving back home to Woodstock. Worked for sorry, I know I'm just like going off on a tangent here.
Go.
Worked at my hometown film festival for a month. This was 2017 in the fall, but it was just like very aimless, you know, like my first potential job that I had, like thought I had, like it flopped, and I just like didn't really know what to do. Didn't really have like any particular like job prospect at that point. Wasn't really sure like what direction I wanted to go in. But I had a friend, actually, same friend, who put me in touch with the Main Squeeze.
Oh, no way. The band that you're going on tour
yeah. This friend, he's a very important figure in my life. He doesn't know it, but he is. He's pointing me in a lot of directions. I had known just through knowing him that his best friend's dad was a sports documentary filmmaker. And that fall, I just, was thinking one day, I was like, I'll just like reach out to Jesse and see if his friend's dad like needs help with any projects. I texted him and he was like, I think he might. I'll put you in touch and see what could happen. So, we get in touch, puts me on the phone with Jim Potteritz, and Jim interviews me over the phone. I'm up in Woodstock. Jim's in New York City. And we talked for maybe like 10 minutes. He's like, all right, you're hired. Move to New York in 2 weeks. And I was like, okay.
Whoa.
So I lined up, my sister and I went down to the city. I lined up 8 Craigslist apartments in one day, saw them all, picked the best one, and I moved to New York City at the start of 2017.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wait, that's recent.
Yeah. I mean,
whoa.
I guess it's 8 years ago.
8 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened after that?
So I was a PA. I was an assistant editor / PA on the Lakers Celtics 30 for 30 is what the documentary was.
Okay.
So 30 for 30 was like an ESPN like docu-series, and they just covered all different ranges of like sports cinema topics, etc. So we did I think it was 2 or 3 part Lakers Celtics documentary, and I was on that for 6 months. And then one of the freelance editors on that project, Steve Browning, he freelance edited for the Jets. I am a massive Jets fan, unfortunately. And he was like, I could probably get you an interview with them afterwards if you have like, nothing to jump to. And I was like, yeah, sure. I didn't think it was supposed to happen this quick. So I go out to New Jersey and do an interview with the Jets, and they hire me as like a junior digital producer for the 2017 season. And so
amazing.
All of a sudden I'm now working for the football team that I grew up rooting for.
What the fuck?
Shooting, content on the sidelines and,
wow.
doing that for 5 more months.
5 more months?
It was like a season, essentially.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
It's from like, like July, like August to December, January is like kind of when the football season runs. But, so I did that for a season. They couldn't hire me full time. So after that, I kind of just went back into the ether. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to, I'll figure out something next. My buddy, one of my best friends, he was working on a political campaign in Detroit at the time. So I just drove out to Detroit and was like, oh, maybe I'll just like walk onto this campaign and like do their content. And long story short, they couldn't hire me, but there was a woman who was making a documentary about the campaign. And so she was like, or I asked her, I was like, any chance you need any help with your documentary? And she was like, yeah, sure. I think I could. So I spent the next 6 months, the first half of 2018, going back and forth to Detroit, shooting this documentary, not making any money, but they were covering all my out-of-pocket costs, which was nice. Again, I mean, this was 2018. So I'm like, how old am I now? I'm 32.
I'm 26.
I was in my like early 20s.
Okay. 24?
Early mid, yeah. 24 sounds right.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But that kind of, that was nice, but and I worked like odd jobs in between. And that, the campaign ended in the middle of 2018 election cycle.
Who was this for?
His name was Abdul El Sayed. He was great. He was an epidemiologist, and he was the health director for the city of Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was a really nice guy.
Wow.
But he didn't win. But it was a great documentary, and it was more about like the the team and the people that just like pour their lives into like, you know, what goes into this like campaign behind the scenes. And
yeah, is there anything that you learned from being behind the scenes of a campaign?
How hard people work. I mean, you know, I think on those campaigns, like people are expected to devote themselves, you know, it's like day and night, no matter what happens. Like there's a town hall, there's a fundraiser, there's door knocking, there's, you know, like this press release is like causing an emergency, you know, like someone needs to call like this union, like this endorsement's coming in, and you just like get to see all of this happen like behind the scenes, and you like, you know, get to watch like my best friend with his hair on fire like every day, you know, it's freaking out about this stuff. It was a really fascinating experience. But the film didn't end up really doing much, but it was cool from like a experience perspective and just learning and, you know, being a part of like a real long form documentary, like embedded with, you know, a group of people, essentially just learning how to storytell from that sense.
Yeah.
But then that summer, 2018, I wanted to kind of find my way back into sports, and the Giants had a posting for the same job. So I was like,
as a non-sports guy,
New York Giants.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Basketball?
Football. Also football.
Sick.
Yeah.
Knew it. I was just kidding. JK. Bro, I have no idea about sports.
It's okay. Sports. Go sports. So yeah, long story short, they had an opening for the same position that I had with the Jets the year prior. And I was like, oh, I have this on my resume. Like, I'll apply to this and see if I get it. I ended up getting it. And then I spent my next 4 years working at the New York Giants as a video producer / editor. Wow. Yeah.
How was that for you?
It was really fun and really stressful all at the same time. You know, I think it was definitely a dream come true being able to work in the NFL for 5 years. You know, you get to know the players, you get to, you know, travel with the team, you're on the sidelines, you're shooting games, you're shooting practices. You just really get to see, you know, how an NFL team operates from the inside. Yeah. And as a huge football fan, it was the sickest thing ever.
Okay, I was curious if it would be the sickest thing ever or if it would like kind of break that fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are definitely things that are demystified, you know, as with anything that you get too close to, I would imagine. COVID really ruined a lot of it for me. Yeah. My third season COVID happened was 2020. And it just like, it really peeled back a lot of the things that were fun about that job. Just as far as like proximity, the travel, you know, like all those types of things. It was super strict. Rightfully so. I did get to experience NFL games with no fans in the stands. That was crazy.
Was that surreal or what?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like, you would never think that this was something that was going to happen. Yeah. You know, in life, so okay, have a full NFL game happen to an empty stadium. It was crazy. But I got to run around the stands and just like, you know, shoot whatever angles I wanted. It was really cool.
Those are probably really interesting photos and videos.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think I probably got some of my like best photos, like all the way up in the stands, you know, shooting like super top down photos from up there.
I mean, just from a historical standpoint, like that will probably never happen for the next, you know, whatever, 50, 100, 200, hopefully never, but.
So we hope.
Yeah, we hope. But yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And to not hear cheering.
They would like pump fake crowd noise in to just like, to like make the players feel like a little not so on edge. Like, oh, this is like so quiet.
That's so trippy.
Yeah. But it's like, you could like hear the opposing sideline and coaches like yelling shit. You know, it's like, you're in an empty stadium. You know, the only people that are there are the two teams and
what the fuck,
you know, the people in the refs and the content squad.
Was this when they had like fake people in the stands, like cardboard cutout people?
Yeah, some teams did that. Yeah.
What a fucking weird time. It's been 5 years.
Crazy.
Exactly. Since that happened.
Crazy.
5 years.
Yeah, I still remember that day, like the day it happened. Yeah.
What were you doing?
I left New York. I was like, I went back upstate to Woodstock. I was like, I'm getting out of here. Fuck this.
So what was going, because you were in New York City at that time. What was going on in New York City? Or was it just more?
Nothing was really going on yet. Like, I think I just left before it got crazy.
Okay.
Like, it was like March 14th. Yeah. And like the news broke that like it was starting to spread. And I just got in my car. I was like, I'm going up to Woodstock. I'm going to ride this thing out.
Wow.
See you guys later.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, no, I ended up coming back to the city in I think May or June, a couple months later. But it was eerie. It was very strange.
Oh man.
Yeah. It was very strange.
When you were driving, were the roads empty? Were people fleeing?
No, it was. I remember driving out, and I was like, "Are they gonna let me out? Are they gonna block the road? Like, is this gonna be like a total like no one goes anywhere, no one leaves? Yeah. Like?" And I just remember looking around at like all the cars. Like I'm driving across the GW Bridge, and I'm like, I'm almost out of here. And then I'm like looking at all the trucks and the cars driving all the roads, and I'm just like, this thing is just spreading. All these people driving and going everywhere. Like there it goes. Like it's off in the world, And yeah, I got the fuck out of there.
So how long did you stay in Woodstock after?
Just 2 months.
Okay, 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months. I actually had to come back to work because football happened, and they were like, "Oh yeah, the NFL season is happening. Like you're coming back to work." And so it was crazy. They had probably more resources than the government. We had testing trailers. We had a whole system implemented. It was like every day you go in, you do a swab, you wait for your like negative test, and then you can go in. Yeah. They had like arrows in the hallways and like this, that, and the other. And it was like, and this was in, August or like of 2020.
What? So like, what is that? 5 months? After it started in March, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people were just at home, and people didn't really know what to do at that time.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like NFL is like, we're making football happen, baby.
Man. Wait, so you couldn't go on unemployment, could you?
No. Thank God I stayed employed.
Wow.
I was lucky enough to have a job the whole time. They didn't lay anyone off. I was really fortunate.
That's awesome.
I was really, really fortunate. I don't think I experienced COVID like most people in that same sense, where my life sort of continued in terms of work. I never really had that whole like Zoom moment, like I was in person for a lot of things. Like I wasn't at home all the time.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Yeah, my COVID experience was a little different in that sense. But I think it was also, just aside from, the tragedy of, everyone that passed away from it, I remember feeling right before COVID happened that life was just moving at a crazy pace.
Dude, yes.
And I was like, we have got to stop moving at this crazy pace. And then it did. And then life just paused. I remember thinking we were probably it was 5 years ago. So we were 27. I remember thinking everyone our age was like, we all stopped adulting for a little while. Yeah. Everyone went home to their parents. Yeah. It was just like a little midlife check-in, like, okay, like, but we're all back here. We can take a deep breath and jump back into it. But again, like that was before I was freelance, and I know a lot of people in our circle had a much more difficult experience in terms of work was canceled, shoots were not happening.
Work was canceled, but we were also able to go on unemployment, which is not the usual
right for
us. For freelancers.
Yeah, what was that like for you?
It was incredible. It was great. I was scared at first when COVID happened. It's kind of similar to you. Before it started, I was like, bro, something needs to change because I was working full time, running my own business. I was going to school full time, all that stuff. I think I was like 24. And I was like, just getting in the flow of stuff, and stuff was picking the fuck up. And I was traveling on the weekends. I would leave Thursday, come back on Tuesday, go to school. Like the rest of the days, I was in a relationship at the time. I was like in different communities and stuff. And I was like, this is too much. This is way too much. I remember like a couple of weeks before the lockdowns, I was like, God, like, please let this, like, I need a break. However you can make that happen, like, please. Like, I just need this to stop for a minute. And I remember I was like coming up on midterms in college, and Coachella was coming, and I was gonna have to like drive down after school and drive back up like the night after Coachella and go straight into my midterm. And I was like, this is too much. Like, I'm very stressed, whatever. And like 2 weeks before, like I got the email being like, hey, there's this thing going around, like we're gonna cancel this job. And I was like, oh, like, oh, that's sad, but like kind of cool. Because I need a break. And it will only just be for 2 weeks. That's great. Like, awesome. We get a little
famous
like
last words.
yeah. Little like just restart moment. That's dope. And then it happened, and it changed kind of everything. But yeah, I was pretty strict, like being inside and stuff. And then after some time, I had like my first art show. Like I had a gallery opening, and I spent thousands of dollars on these prints as a college student. Like,
let's go.
it was a lot, but I had it on like March. God, what was it? Like March 6th or something. March 13th, I don't know, 12th or whatever. And then a day later, everything shut down in San Francisco. They were like, hey, we're going to shut down the gallery. Hey, we're going to shut down school. Hey, like everything shut down. And that was gnarly. That kind of sucked. That part sucked. But I was like indoor and like conservative or contained for like, 3 weeks. And then after that, like, unemployment checks started coming, which was dope. And and I was just able to like go outside. And for me, I loved it. I was kind of like a anarchist in San Francisco, because everybody like, you would be hiking by yourself and somebody's wearing gloves and a hazmat suit. And I'm like, bro, you're out in nature by yourself.
Crazy.
You're 4,000 yards away with nobody else around. Like you can take the mask off. You can take the gloves off.
We're outside.
Yeah, we're outside. But, also understanding that, people got other shit going on. But
to each their own.
Yeah, I was at the beach every day. I was at the park every day.
Sounds great.
I was going to like swimming holes up in Northern California where it's just like...
It's a great time to live it up. Dude, no one was around.
Dude, nobody was around. No traffic, no nothing. It was wonderful. I enjoyed it so much. My girlfriend at the time, like... her parents were sensitive and stuff, like a sensitive group. So I would need to like quarantine every 2 weeks, because she still lived with them. So I would need to like quarantine for 2 weeks to be able to see her.
Oof.
So that was a little bit rough. And like, I remember those phone calls of like, hey, I went to the grocery store today and somebody like took their mask off like 5 feet from me and then like coughed and then put it back on their face. Like, is that okay? And she'd be like, oh, I have to check in with my parents to see if that's all right.
Yeah.
I do not miss that time. That was awful.
Yeah. Dude, I remember like the first week or two I was home, I went to CVS and I had to get something for my dad or whatever. And there was a certain brand of something. I don't remember what the product was, but I remember I was trying to figure out like which one it was. I didn't know if I was allowed to like pick something up or put something down, and like I like reached out and like grabbed the thing, and it ended up like not being the right thing. But I was like I touched this.
Oh my God.
Does that mean I have to like take it now? And I just bought it because I was like, I touched this, like am I like being detrimental to society by like picking this up and putting it back down?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was fucking wild.
I do not miss that at all, dude. I miss the lifestyle back then.
Spraying down your groceries.
Oh my God. Microwaving things, fucking washing them.
That was a crazy time.
So wild.
Yeah.
And then like, it was just over like that. There was no... I feel like things need to be mourned or addressed at a level in society. Like 9/11, when that happened, we had things, we have events every year where we like go and mourn or share thoughts. And I feel like with COVID, it was like, here's this thing that affected literally everyone. Like so many suicides, so many mental health crises, myself included. I was fucking not good. Mm-hmm. After a while, it was fucked.
Yeah.
It was really fucked. And like, it was like, we just kind of we're like, okay, it's gone now.
Yeah.
Like return back to normal.
Yeah.
It was I don't know what I would have done, but yeah, it was just weird how it just kind of went away.
Yeah, I think the difference too is like COVID got politicized so quickly.
Yep.
You know, like I feel like 9/11, that was like a moment of national unity.
True.
You know, and COVID just like we're in a different time with media where everything just gets pinned up against something, and you can't even just be like, oh, like this is a tragedy, period. You know. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Yeah. I feel like it just kind of like fizzled out.
Yeah.
And we've just been in this post-COVID world of trying to figure out how to structure our lives. And
it was like 2 weeks of national unity, of like, thank you for the first line workers and first responders and all that stuff.
People like ringing bells at 7 p.m. every day outside their apartments. Yeah. Dude, it was kind of dope. There was this really talented saxophonist that lived on my block, and like every week he would coordinate. There were a couple other musicians that lived in his building, and they would all go on different fire escape levels in the building, and they would just have a concert to the street. And I would just like go out and sit out on my fire escape and just watch these guys jam. And like people would be walking down like on the street, and they would stop, and everyone would just be like dancing in the street outside, and like there would just be like saxophone guy on like top level, and there would be like a drummer on the second level, and like guitarist on the third level, whatever. It was so dope. There's some like really cool little things like that that happen.
Yeah, some like really special moments of like just how much we need people and human interaction, and things as simple that we take for granted as like live music. Yeah, those were some crazy times.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it was like being freelance then, because I feel like I've heard a lot of stories of like, what's the word, strife, troubled times for a lot of the freelancers during that time. You know, I mean, I can imagine what it was like. Even
like a mom and pop business, like I don't know what that would be like. I mean
freelancing is new to me. You know.
Yeah,
I've only been freelancing for
4 years.
I've been freelancing for like 2 years.
What?
When I was 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Like close to almost 2.5 years.
Wait, so, okay, COVID happened, and then you went to...
COVID happened, I was still at the Giants for 2 more years.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I decided to quit the Giants after 2022. I just, you just like get to a certain point, and I wasn't growing. I wasn't always treated great. Sometimes I still have friends there. I'm always grateful for my experience there, but, at a certain point, you just kind of know it's like, it's time to go. And it was tough. I mean, that was the first time I'd ever quit a job. And let alone a job that I know so many people would have killed to have. Yeah. Like I'm working in the NFL. I have healthcare. I had a pension. I could have sat in that chair for the next 30 years and just been set for life. Yeah. But I knew that I would have never been able to live with myself if I had done that. Because you want to grow. You want to grow in life. That's the only way that you can be the best version of yourself.
How was it to get to that point? And were you talking about it with people? Was it in your head?
Yeah. I mean, I think I probably meditated on it for 6 months. Okay. I think I went through the season, and I was talking to, I would talk to my parents about it. I was talking to like friends about it. I wasn't in therapy at the time, but I was talking to the trusted people in my life about it, like what my thoughts were and what I was thinking about doing. And, but I think the moment that really crystallized it for me was I had my first panic attack ever. Like I had a real panic attack. I'd never had one before. I'm not someone who gets like anxiety like that. And, I've never really had, luckily I've never had like attacks like that, but I had a real panic attack. And, I was like, I need to get out of here. I need to leave.
Did you have it on the job?
I had it. So the season had just ended. I mean, listen, like the NFL season is really grueling, especially as, from 2018 to 2022, in the years that I was there, like the demand for content really grew over that time, just in general and like the media landscape. And so, we're a team of like 5-6 people, and we're trying to meet those demands for an NFL franchise that has millions of fans around the world, all needing content, sponsors needing content, just,
Yeah.
everything. And, we're worked really hard, and I was looking forward to a little break. And, my boss came down, and I'm like, me and my coworkers, we were all just kind of like chatting up, just like, oh, like season's over. So excited to just like take a little bit of time off. And like my boss comes down, and she just starts like rattling off like, hey guys, so like, here's like the things that we're starting to like plan for the off season. And we got to do like this content, like this trip, that, and that. And so, don't plan to take any time off until maybe July. And in that moment, it was like, it was just like, like everything in my head. It was like everything froze, and I like, how, in movies when, like someone says something and then like all the audio just gets like muffled.
Yeah.
that was what happened to me. And I just like tried to get myself out of the building and get home that day. And then like, I got home and just freaked the fuck out. I was like, how am I gonna not take any time off until July? I was like, I need to chill. Like I'm a person. Like I need to, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. So I was like, I need to leave. It's like, I need to leave. I'll figure it out. But I had to start fresh. But it was hard, man. I mean, I left without having a job. Like I jumped out into the wide open world.
Was it 6 months after the panic attack?
No, the panic attack happened like at the end of the 6 months. But I had already been thinking about leaving.
Yeah.
During the season, like
and it's just like, fuck. Now I have all these things that are like on me, or that they want me to do. It wasn't so much like the things that they wanted me to do. It was more the thought that like, oh, this is never going to end. Yeah, it feels trapped.
And it was like, oh, there's no end in sight.
Fuck.
Yeah, and it was hard. The decision to leave is definitely against the grain, I think, for a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, people that are at the Giants, like, were there and are there and will be there, for years and decades. Right. Because like, you're taken care of for sure. From a like healthcare financial standpoint, like you're good if you're there. It's a stable, secure place to work. But I needed that freelance life, I needed life to be a little more exciting than that.
It's nice.
I'm like a road tripper, I like to go out and see the world and, do different things. And I realize that I will always have that experience of working in football with me for the rest of my life. Right. It's like, I did it. I did the thing. I ran out onto the fields of a stadium with the team. Like I've experienced all this amazing, incredible stuff that's always going to be with me. But there's more to life than this, Yeah. So I feel like my career happened a little bit of an opposite way, because I feel like a lot of people work to get to that point. And that's like a lot of people's potential end games. And for me, it happened at the front end of my career. And I very quickly had to realize, like, do I want to do this forever? And then, I realized I didn't. I wanted to have new experiences. And then I left and I landed at a social media agency in Brooklyn for a year. And then after I spent another year there, and then after kind of experiencing a similar sentiment of, lack of growth in a sense, or just kind of finding, hitting that same dead end, within myself, amongst other things, it really solidified the decision. Like, okay, I need to just take the leap of faith and just go freelance, and just throw up the bat signal and, hope that there's a net to catch me when I jump. And,
has there been a net?
Oh, yeah, it's been a net. It's been a net.
Yeah.
It's been great. I think the 3 years ago version of myself looking at myself now would not believe like what the last couple of years have been like. I think really at the end of the day, just betting on yourself is the best thing you can do. I think a lot of people are afraid to take that chance in life. And, I get it. Like, security is nice. There's no security in what we do. The security is what you put into it,
Correct. What's his name? Jim Carrey. I like Jim
Carrey's great.
His hippie phase that he's in, or has been in for the past like 6 years or whatever. But he was given this talk at at a college graduation, and he was saying like, yeah, I watched my dad work so much at something and lose it all. And he's like, you might as well take a chance on yourself, because fuck, what is God.
But it's that sentiment.
It's just like you can fail at things that you don't want. So you might as well take a risk failing at something that you do want.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I watched my dad do it, like security. I mean, obviously he had a family of 3 with a wife and a house and cars and college is coming up. So he can't fucking be like, hey, I'm going freelance, by the way. I'm going to try out my dreams really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do that at nighttime when you're back from work or whatever. But like I've seen him get let go of jobs. There's no I think that there is sometimes a false illusion of security just in life in general.
Sure.
If I do this, then I'll be okay. If I do that, then I'll be okay. If I go to school, then I'll be okay. I've never used my college degree. Fucking ever. I went to school for 8 goddamn years.
It's
8
crazy.
years of my goddamn life when I could have just been working and making cash and money.
I mean, I think you see a lot of young creators nowadays.
Oh,
it's like it's like the blueprint for how to make money without going to college.
Right.
It's called YouTube University.
Yeah.
All the information that you could ever want in our field is out there free.
It's not fucking necessary anymore. At least for what we do and for a lot of things. I mean, even I'm thinking right now, you're like, oh, I wanted to be an announcer for games. It's like, well, nowadays, if you want that, you just go on Twitch or whatever and stream the game and announce yourself. Or whatever.
I mean, 10 years ago, it was different.
It was very different.
The structures still existed that you had to sort of go through in order to be placed in those career fields.
Right.
But things have changed so fast.
Fast.
People are just making their own lives, and it's amazing. I think it's beautiful to see.
It is,
and it does kind of reflect, I think, a lot about the freelance mentality where it's like you get out of it what you put into it. And I think security in the classic sense is sort of the ability to not have to put all of yourself into something all the time. I think you will rise through the corporate ranks probably faster if you really take your job seriously, and you'll get raises and you'll get to the next level. And, I'm sure there's plenty of people that still operate that way. But I think freelancing, you really get out of it when you put into it a lot faster.
Yeah.
And you can move your career along at whatever pace you want to move it along.
Right.
To a certain degree. I think a lot of it is luck and timing and, the people that you meet and the situations you find yourself in. But it's like, it's just putting yourself in those situations is more than half the battle, But I do think that it is way worse to not take your shot than to take your shot and to fail. And I think that's kind of the mentality that I've had to live by, that I have lived by since I quit the Giants. I was like, I'm going to take a shot at this because I'm going to fucking hate myself if I sit in this chair for the next 20 years and, wonder what if, what would my life have been like if I left and gone out and tried to, have a different career and film and shoot different things and meet different people. I was never, I think the physical aspect of it too really weighed in that decision for you, because the office of the Giants is in the parking lot at MetLife Stadium. So every day I'm in an isolated office in a parking lot in New Jersey. Whoa. I am not out and about. I'm not interacting. I'm not mingling with other people in my career fields. The only time that I'm meeting other people is on the sidelines of games. And it's for 2 seconds when you see the one other team photographer who from Instagram. You're like, oh, hey, dude, what's up? It's like, oh, yeah, good to see you. Oh, a big play. Oh, see you later. Got to go. And that's it, And you'll see people at other events like the combine and the draft if you go to that. But there's no there are very few meeting hubs, consistent meeting hubs in that career field. I'm in the office. I'm in those 4 walls every day. And I'm not getting out, and I'm not, my network isn't growing. I'm not meeting new people.
Right.
And freelancing has just been that to the max, and it's just like once you're out there in the world, like you're able to make of it whatever you want because you have access to everybody that you want to have access to, more or less. It's just about how much time and energy you want to put into it. But I think that's also where freelancing has made me such a better person in my personal life too. Because I think, there's like everyone's talking about severance right now and how like, there's our work lives and our home lives and, everyone kind of separates those things. And I mean, it's totally true. I think like my home life just wanted to like chill and just like relax and watch shows and see my friends. And then like my work life, I was like, I'm at work, I'm here, I'm working. And like, this is separate and I don't want to take this home with me. Freelancing is like, you kind of take it with you all the time. But it's not kind of, you do. Yeah. It's with you all the time. It's not, it's not always something that you can like turn on and switch off.
Yes.
But I think just the practice and the skills, the life skills that freelancing has taught me in terms of just being organized, like staying accountable, being a good person, like as a freelancer, like all you have is your reputation, it's like, it's a very small world that we live in. Mm-hmm. And like, if someone hears your name, they're either going to think well of you or they're going to think poorly of you. Mm-hmm. Or they don't know you. And I think, I take a lot of, I put a lot of weight on that, because I try to be a good person. I think I'm pretty nice, but like, great. I want to, it's like,
you're great. Yeah.
People don't want to work with shitty people. And this is also another thing that Jim Potteritz, the director from the Lakers Celtics film, my last day there, I asked him if he had any career advice. And he told me, and I'll never, ever forget this. He said, don't be an asshole. And that's just like the through line that I try to exist by as a freelancer. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to work with assholes. Just be nice. Just work hard. Like, that's it. And, you might not be as talented as the asshole, but you might get more work because you're just more pleasant to be around, and hopefully like you work hard and get better. Mm-hmm. But I think that's just, it's, and that sentiment, I think in ways that it's bled over into my personal life, also in terms of like who I want to spend time with, the friends that I choose to include in my life and not include in my life. I think those things kind of go hand in hand. And I think those are the life skills that came with freelancing that, that I was able to learn, that I didn't know I was learning those things until I was like, oh, like, like how you carry yourself is everything, and all these decisions that you make affect everything. And there's no one making decisions for you. Like, you are making your own life decisions, and you are deciding, you're deciding everything for yourself. So I think that's, it's all kind of bled in together for me.
Really well said. It's got me thinking, because the don't be an asshole part is, I was going to say difficult. It's not difficult. It's because you're dealing with people. You're not dealing with entities or companies. You're dealing with like one-on-one people. There's no HR department. Mm-hmm. There's no nothing. So you got to like put up with some shit sometimes. You got to like do a lot of stuff that you aren't required to. Let's say if you were like in an office, or be an intermediate person or an intermediary. Yeah.
Everything is about managing relationships. As a freelancer.
So some people are very hard to be in a relationship with, and then some people it's easy and fun.
Yeah.
So I'm sure to some people I'm the nicest guy. I'm sure to some people I'm a fucking asshole.
You're a fucking asshole.
I know. No, I hope not. But like, I get in my head about it sometimes. But thank you.
Sometimes.
But like sometimes, I can be harsh sometimes, which I'm working on. But like last night I had trouble like falling asleep. I was like, did I say that thing too harsh? Mm-hmm. Just in my head. Or helicopter going by. Yeah. But there's no, it's hard being your own company, your own PR person, your own agent, your own everything. It's hard managing all those things. And then realizing that like, people want to work with you if you're nice, pleasant to be around. It's all about who you know. Like, I remember being really bummed about that when I realized like, oh, talent doesn't really matter. I mean, it matters. Mm-hmm. If you're the 1% of talent, where it's undeniable talent, like it doesn't matter if you're an asshole, it doesn't matter. Like people will still want to hire you.
Yeah.
I mean,
talent can get you noticed, but talent won't keep you around.
Okay. Yes, you are correct. Yeah.
At least I feel that way.
Yeah. But I also noticed, like, do I want to say this? I don't know. I noticed early on in my career, I dealt with a lot of jealousy and everything. Of like, fuck, that person's doing that thing. I want to do that thing, blah, 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 blah. Because I felt a lack of whatever the fuck I was feeling. But, and I was like, but they're not great. Like their work is not fantastic. It's not, you know, and I had my own opinions about people's work at that time that I don't have really anymore, because I realized we're all just doing this thing. I may love somebody's work. I say, hey, I love that person's work. Somebody's like, nah, I don't really like it. And then I may not like somebody's work. And then somebody's like, wait, that's my favorite photographer, painter, everything's subjective or subjective. Everybody has their own opinions.
But the FOMO is real.
Oh, it's so real.
It's definitely something you have to manage, you know? And I think it's hard not to be jealous, I think, sometimes. Yeah. It's like, you know, we're in a social media world. Like, we see our friends working on different shoots. Like, oh, like, what are they shooting? Oh, what are they doing? Like, oh, here I'm sitting at home. Like, I'm not working. I'm a fucking loser. Like, you know, it's like everyone goes through that.
Yeah.
I think that's another life skill that freelance has taught me, that, you know, you can't live like that. You know, it's like, I've had to teach myself over the last couple of years how to not live like that. And, you know, you can't just be looking over your shoulder all the time, and you can't what's the word, you can't like commoditize your friendships, you know.
And what do you mean by that?
I don't even know if that's a word. But you know, okay, like your relationships cannot be transactional, you know, because then you are just left as an empty, sad sack, essentially. And I think that was like kind of one thing that people tell you before you move to LA. It's like, oh, people are fake. Everyone's just trying to like use people to get to like the next thing. And like, you know what, there's fake people everywhere. Yeah. You know, it's like, if you are your genuine self, you will be met with other people that are also their genuine selves. And when you are your genuine self, you will also be able to quickly weed out people that are not genuine and that are just, you know, looking for, you know, some kind of transactional thing. There are benefits to transactional relationships. Sure. Like, you know, I think that's the only way that sometimes we can move up or forward in our careers. But, you know, I think it's just about not putting all your eggs into those baskets. You know, two people with, you know, two different skill sets, two different talents. Like, sure, we can work together as like, you know, okay, like, you know, I can introduce you to this person, or, you know, I'm trying to work on this thing, whatever. But you can't approach every conversation that you have that way. I feel like that exists in a lot of people out here. And it's tough to like, you know, or it's not tough, but it's like, you just have to be cautious, you know, and try to weed that out, because, people see something and they go, I want that. And then they just, you know, and they try to do it. And it's just not, you know, it's not a great way to live.
Oh, I still do that from time to time. I see people doing stuff, and I'm like,
I'll scroll on Instagram. I'll get served an ad for like something like, oh, I want that.
You know, I want that. Or I see my like people that I know in my network doing stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want to be doing that. Like, how do I do that? But I mean, I got the greatest fucking lesson. The job that I worked, my first like real photography gig, I worked for 4 years to get that job. I was working in nightclubs day in, day out for $50 for like 7 hours, editing nonstop. I was being abused in that relationship.
I think we were all kind of in one of those at some point.
Yeah. I was, you know, working for free for 6 months, and then he was like, I'll give you $50. So times that by 3 days of work every week for 6 hours a night, plus 7 hours of editing or whatever. I was working so much for $150 a week. And I was like, man, I will be happy once I get this job shooting music festivals. I will be so happy. Like, every day in the shower, I was like not even present in my own life. I was just living in a fantasy land of like, imaginary music festival that I'm
like
shooting.
I need to get that thing. I need that thing. Yeah,
I need that thing. I thought about it constantly. And then I got it. It was great for a year. And then I was like, fuck, this is not that great.
Yeah.
This is not that wonderful. And I remember being a little bummed out, but like it was a good lesson and yeah, just learning that like not everything that I want is like necessary for me or will bring the happiness that I think it will.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think also there's like, there are healthy ways to like, you know, in that same mindset of like, oh, I want that. Like, you know, there are ways to use that as motivation. Like that's a good thing. You know, I think we all need to find motivation in our freelance lives in order to just like get ourselves to the next stage, to the next step. Like having a goal to work towards, like that's great. But, you know, I think it's the context that you put it in and the way that you approach it and your end game with it, you know, that kind of will end up making it what it becomes for you once you get to that thing, you know? And it's like for you, it's like, okay, like you did everything you could to like get to that point, and then you're like, oh fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it looked a lot better online. And that FOMO thing is real even for me. Like some days I'll be like in Korea a couple months ago, and I'm just like looking at Instagram being like, oh, that looks fun as fuck. I want to be doing that.
I'm in Korea and like, oh, my friend's like doing some shoot in Hollywood. Like, oh, what are they doing?
Yeah.
It's like,
man, also that blends into this past week. I've had a really hard time saying no because I don't want to let people down. I don't want to like not be present on shoots. Like I want to be wanted in career stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to be, I don't know, it's so ridiculous. I don't want to be replaced sometimes. Like it's scary.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary. And like I was dealing with that yesterday. I have a full day today. I needed to sleep in. I have some editing to do. I have this with you, which has been wonderful thus far. And I have some stuff tonight till like 11 p.m. And then I have shoot on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all day.
Let's go, baby.
I'm so excited. But yeah, even then, like I got a call last night, being like, hey, we need somebody to shoot this celebration of life for somebody important who has passed away. And I was like, sure, maybe I can fit it in. And I'm just stressed like a motherfucker at work at like 11 p.m. last night. Just like, oh, I need to do this. I can't say no. And then finally I just broke down. I was like, you know what? I'm actually really stressed. This is not going to work for me. I don't want to bring this energy to the shoots.
Yeah.
I will not be in a good mood. Find somebody else.
Doing the things that you need to do to be the best version of yourself are really important.
Yeah.
You know, and I think, you know, like freelancing comes in waves. I feel like we all have 2 week stretches where we're working nonstop, and we have 2 week stretches where we're like, I'm never working again. But yes. I think like, you know, I've been able to get to that point where those crazy waves happen where something will come my way and it's just like in between 2 shoots. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm sorry. No, like I can't, I can't do it. I'm happy to recommend somebody, but you know, I think putting like my mental and physical health first has been it's been the only reason why I've been able to like continue at that pace. Cause like, you know, burnout's real, you know, burnout is real. Like, you know, people work as many days as they can. I mean, and that's like, you know, the thing with freelancing, it's like, you know, you want to be wanted, you want to be there, you want to like maintain your presence there. You know, it's like, there's like the validation of just like being called and being wanted to like be on set and just like, you know, being present and staying relevant in, you know, in different circles. Like it's important for sure. But I think, you know, once it gets to the point where, you know, whatever version of yourself is showing up to those things is not the best version of yourself. That's where you have to be like, okay, I need to take a beat. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's hard turning down money, you know?
It is hard.
If we don't work, we don't get paid, you know? So it's like, it's not easy to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, those are the decisions that we have to make on a daily basis.
Did you have to learn about that? Like trial test runs and all that stuff of just like, wait, I'm really burnt out. I need to learn how to say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, I remember just like, I had like back-to-back like shoots with like overnight next day turnarounds and edits. And, by like the second, third day, I'm just like, fuck, I need to sleep. But fuck, I have to let's like shoot at 5 p.m. Oh, which means I need to leave at 4 p.m. Oh, and it's 2 p.m., which means I have 1 hour, which means fuck, So, it's like that happens to you enough times.
Yeah.
And then you start to be like, okay, I think I'm figuring this out a little bit.
I have to relearn it every single year. I'll get like burnt out and be like, what's going on? Like, why am I so like mad and upset and tired and exhausted? And I feel like I have no time for myself. And I feel like all these people are trying to take like my time and my energy. And I'm like, I need to say no. Mm-hmm. Like, I need to relearn how to say no every single goddamn year. It comes up like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Where I go to my therapist. I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And she's like,
oh, my life sucks. Help me.
That's why I pay my therapist, just for me to say help. I'm just like, help. I just need to keep relearning that fucking lesson. And it's very fucking annoying. But
yeah. It's nice to be able to have the option to learn that lesson, though. Like we're very lucky.
No,
I
don't know. No, explain.
No, we're lucky. We're lucky to have enough work where where like we can say have the option to say no.
I like that. I like that mindset. Shift.
Yeah, it's like we are very like we are just out here doing our thing, and the phone rings, we get an email, and like we're super lucky to have that as most of the time how things seem to work. But there's people out there that are like totally struggling. We have friends that like they don't work for a long time, and bank account gets tight, and all of a sudden things are different. So I mean, yeah, it's nice to develop that muscle of being able to say no. I think that's also like another parallel between like freelancing and life, where it's like, okay, like saying no to a job, or like saying no to like going out to dinner or drinks with like a friend group because like I just I'm exhausted and my social battery's done, and I've gone out 3 times this week and I just want to sleep and watch Severance, and or it's like saying no to like, oh, like, we're going to send it to Mammoth this weekend. Like, it's gonna be sick. And it's like, oh yeah, that sounds really dope. I would love to go. But like, oh, like, I think I just want to like chill and recharge this weekend and not do that, So yeah, I think that's kind of where like the freelance life has benefited me in my personal life, and those things just kind of end up blending together. And
I've noticed you're really good at being like, no, I'm staying in tonight.
I always feel bad, it's hard.
You should feel bad.
Saying no is hard, especially to you.
Thanks.
And I think that's another thing. You know what? That's maybe also where like my former New York like mentality comes in, because like in New York City, there's something going on every night. Like you can go out 5-6 nights a week and drink until you're, shit faced, and there's always something going on. And like you're staying at home and everyone's on top of each other in the city, and you're just like that fucking loser sitting at home doing nothing. And there's a lot of social pressure in New York. And that was one of the reasons why I left New York. I was like, I hate this. It's like, I'm a country boy. I'm a country bumpkin. I don't want to live like this every day. Like I can't keep up. Like I'm getting older. Like I can't drink like I used to drink in college. Like I don't enjoy drinking all the time. We have a lot of friends that are sober. I drink once in a while, but like I can't drink, 3-4 nights a week anymore. I feel like shit. And I think there's something really nice about LA where you can stay home for 2 weeks and never go out and feel good about yourself. And there's no social pressure to do anything. And then that one night that you go out, you'll have a great time. And there's always something for you. And there's always something going on for everybody. And you'll enjoy whatever it is that you end up doing and finding yourself in. But there's way less social pressure here to go out and like be spending your energy on, on things that you don't want to spend your energy on. Yeah. It's like way more acceptable to just like stay home and chill. I love that. I love staying home and chilling. And I really love that mentality. But I think I like have gone in waves where like I chilled really, really hard for a while. And then like, like you deal with work in between, but I'm trying to get back to that. I think I'm swinging back to trying to say yes to more things. Yeah. Within reason, you know, it's like finding that nice middle ground of like, okay, I've been in LA for a year, and I would like to start experiencing more of the happenings, and just like spending more time with friends, doing little things here and there, and once I'm like all caught up on sleep and feel good, like, I'm ready to like do those types of things.
Yeah.
Instead of just like sitting at home and being like, oh, another day at home. So great. Yeah.
So great. Yeah, I got to learn how to do that a little bit better. I'm always out, always doing something.
You're a busy man.
I'm out at like 8 a.m. No, 9 a.m. And then I don't come home until like 11:30 p.m.
It's a long day.
It is. Yeah. I need to learn, but
Gotta stay hydrated.
I do.
Good.
I do.
Yeah. It's important.
Thank you.
It's dry out here. We live in the desert.
It is dry. We do live in the desert.
That's one thing about LA. I love that my towels dry a lot quicker here than in New York.
I never even thought about that.
Dude, I went home. The first time that I went home last year to visit, it was during like a heat wave in June, and I got out of the shower and I was like drying myself off, and I'm like, why am I still wet? I'm just like,
what?
It's like, why am I still wet? And I was like, oh, it's like humidity. It's crazy.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
Wow.
It's like I hang up my towel, 30 minutes later it's dry. It's great.
I never even noticed that.
It's like I wash my hands, like air dry, like everything just evaporates. Like it's nice. Like I'm not just like this moist, gross, like New York sweaty boy all the time,
No, but really quick, just going back really quick.
Yeah, let's reel back
so random. Yeah, thanks for that perspective shift on the ability. God, what is that called? I don't know, the privilege of being able to say no, because that means I have like stuff going on. That
For
means
sure.
I have like companies and people calling me.
Yeah.
I feel like that. Yeah, I needed that.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to get in my head and be like, oh my God, there's so many things happening. And oh my God. And for that to be used as like I'm so stressed. I'm a victim of the stress.
Yeah.
But like, hey, it's good to be busy. Like, because the opposite could be true
Yeah.
for me. And luckily right now it is not. I mean, fast forward 2 months ago, it was awful. I had no jobs coming in. I had nothing. I have my house. I have my family. I have my health. I have everything.
We all get jaded.
Yeah.
Everyone gets jaded.
Yeah.
You just gotta remind yourself once in a while, like, I'm not gonna starve.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going hungry.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as busy as last month, but I'm not going hungry.
Every time that there's no jobs coming in, I always get like, oh, I'm never gonna work again. It's all downhill from here. Like that was a good run.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun.
Boy, what a career.
Yeah. It was great.
Guess I'm going to go off and be a farmer now.
Yeah. And then it always bounces back. Like, luckily,
Yeah.
And one day maybe the calls don't come in, and that's okay too.
What do you want to do when you're done with this?
Done with what?
Like freelancing. Do you have like a second life, career, aspirations, like things that you want to do that are not necessarily like creative and photo, video related?
I haven't gotten that far yet. Kind of taking it day by day. I have a few things. I was thinking about Fire Academy, like firefighting. But I talked to some people about it, and I'm gonna give that like another year or two.
I mean, you had a pretty good firsthand account of what that might look like a couple months ago. That's a tough life.
Yeah, but it seems fun. Like being of service to people, like helping out, using your body.
It's the best.
Physical. I don't really know. Like I really love ceramics and stuff, so maybe like jumping back into that. There's teaching, there's podcasting, there's I don't know.
Creatives keep creating.
Yeah.
It's like it's always going to be something.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep going, whatever it is, and see what takes off more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm open to whatever,
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
what
good
about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Every time I walk into like a greenhouse or a nursery, I'm like, I would love to just like work at a greenhouse or just like work on a farm, do something where I'm around plants. It's like super relaxing. It's fresh. I'm like becoming a plant dad. I've got like a bunch of plants around my house, and I'm just like, oh, like a new one. It's like, oh, it's growing. And it's like it feels good when you're in tune with your plants, and it's nice to. It's such a just like we're so detached nowadays. We're so detached, and it's nice to like be brought back home to something like that. So something that involves just like being in nature, being outdoors, like landscaping, like that sounds great. Just like it's hard work. It's like something that'll keep you in shape. You get to be outside, you get fresh air. You don't have to stare at a screen all day, being a landscaper. Something like that has always kind of appealed to me as like, if I wasn't doing this, maybe I would try that instead. But who knows?
Yeah, I got a new baby popping up on that one.
Look at that guy
that I noticed this morning.
That's a healthy Monstera.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, buddy.
My friend gave it to me and to watch. She like went on tour and then
she's never getting it back.
She like broke the news. She's like, I'm moving back like to LA and I need my plants back. And I was like, no.
Actually, funny story. I lost them.
I don't know where they went.
Yeah, they're gone. Sorry.
How was Iceland?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah?
It was amazing.
You fucker. It looked beautiful.
It was so beautiful. It's my first time there.
How many days? 4 or 5?
We got there on a Thursday. No, we left on Thursday, landed at Friday morning. The shoot was Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And then I stayed a full extra day and then flew back the day after. So I was there for about a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Did you guys have a good time?
I had a great time. I mean, that landscape is incredible.
What'd you guys do?
We traveled around. So we started in Reykjavik. Do you want to know like what like about the shoot, or like do you want to just like know like what we did?
Whatever you want to tell. Yeah.
Well, it was an influencer shoot. We started in Reykjavik and had a bunch of activities. We went to this like a sky lagoon, which is this it's like a lagoon that's heated by natural like volcanic geyser water in Reykjavik, and swam there. And then we went to the east side of the island. Went to like the black sand beaches, did ice caves.
How was the ice caves?
It was It was really sick. Well,
Wow.
It's amazing you're in there, and then the guide is always like, they kind of bring it home for you. Where they're like, yeah, we're the last generation that will be able to see this. And like by the next time that you come back and see this ice cave, like it's gonna look completely different, or it might be gone. And it just like really puts it in perspective. Like, wow, like shit's changing fast.
Whoa.
But it's really beautiful being in there. And then, the weather was amazing. You're out there and like these landscapes are just like so vast and like stark and striking. But it took me 3 days to realize there's like no trees there,
Wait, you're right.
It's like just a vast like volcanic ice and landscape. It's an Iceland. It's Iceland. It's literally it.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah. Well, my one of our drivers, he was kind of telling us how Iceland is very much it's like a scientific hotspot for geologists all over the world, because I guess in terms of like relative time, Iceland is one of the newest countries in the world because it just rose up out of the ocean from the volcanoes, and so like it like that landmass compared to the other like land masses of the world like is very, very new. So it's they're trying to like study. It's almost like a slice of time for like at what point in time this newish landscape that came out of like the ocean with volcanoes like is like, and the minerals and the the like the ice and the water and the black volcanic sand and the lava and like all this stuff. And it's like, and then once you kind of realize that and you look at the landscape, you're like, oh yeah, wow, this is like, it's just like, it's all brand new, and it's like, really starting to like, it's growing a little bit, it's just like grass in the summertime, but there's no trees yet. It's like all the trees are hand planted, I think, or they're just like, not native.
That would make sense. Yeah. Either that or like germination from
like
birds.
Yeah. I'm not a scientist. I won't claim to know all of it, but it seemed to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
The jet lag is real. The
Yes,
jet lag is
sir.
real.
Yes,
we
sir.
we took off on the way home. It was really trippy. We took off at 5 p.m. and I landed in Seattle at 5 p.m. 8 hours later. And I was like, whoa, same time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked.
Yeah.
How's the food?
Incredible.
Right?
Incredible. So fresh.
Dude.
It is like I'm not a scallops eater, but I had some of the most fresh, delicious scallop dishes that I've ever had in my entire life. And it's just the cuisine is incredible. The water is like so clear. Like, yeah, you can like drink out of any river, stream, whatever here. Like the water is incredible. Yeah, the food, the cuisine was amazing. The fish, the cod, it's a lot of cod and Arctic char, and that's kind of like their main cuisine out there. It was like, it was sick.
It's so fucking good. My sister was I was telling you, my sister was a tour guide there, and she's like, Iceland has some of the best food in the world I've ever had. And she lived in France for years, and like, we'll go to Spain and all these other places. But she's like, Iceland, I don't know what they're doing like cuisine wise there, but they're just inventive. There's like this like Michelin star restaurant, I think, there where they just have a greenhouse, grow everything in the greenhouse in Iceland, and it's all fresh.
It's amazing.
Right there, they go pick it for you, put it on your plate. And
Dude,
it's fucking amazing.
We were at one place, they had like a meat locker, and this guy literally pulled out a lamb shank and just cut pieces, like raw, like salted pieces of this lamb shank, and just handed it to us. And it was, I know you don't eat red meat, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I am like half my body.
No, you were telling me the story about your friend who you upset by eating the whale or something one time.
Yes, hi Skylar, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was in Norway and
I didn't eat any whale, but I wasn't presented with the opportunity either.
yeah, I was like, why not? Like, it's a thing that they do here. I want to experience the culture, and I took one bite and regretted it like a motherfucker, and it was disgusting. I did not enjoy it.
But you tried it.
I tried it, and then
you didn't kill that whale.
No, I didn't. It was already
there.
It was already
you just
there.
Tried it. It's fine.
And it's what the locals ate. And I was like, I'm gonna eat like the locals. I did that in India. I did that in Africa. I did that like in many other places. Like I'll eat.
I always get so sad when like I go to these places and there's like McDonald's and Starbucks, and you're like, oh, like I could just keep, like I know this and like I'm far away, but like this is familiar and comforting, and I don't know what the weird food here is, so I'm just gonna eat McDonald's and Starbucks, it's like you really have to break out of that when you're in those places. You gotta find like what's the local spot, like what's the cuisine. You have to. It takes effort.
Yeah.
Because the like corporate convenience like net is cast very wide.
Right.
And especially when like we're traveling and we're going faraway places and we're on the road and we're tired and like all you want to do is just go to CVS or 7-Eleven and get a candy bar and whatever. It's like it's easy to eat like shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to eat well. It's very easy to eat like shit.
Yep.
It takes effort.
Yeah, the best breakfast I ever had was in Iceland. It was in Reykjavik in like some basement somewhere. And we went there one day. We were like, this is fucking insane. So then we just kept coming back. It was like fresh bread, butter that they made there, jams that they made in house, peanut butter that they made in house with like an egg that you would crack. It was just so simple yet like the best breakfast I've ever had.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And if you notice, when we were there, they just closed down like a McDonald's. They were like, we don't want any foreign like fast food chains in Iceland. And so I guess they just closed down the McDonald's. This was in like 2016.
That's great.
They brought it there in like a KFC or something, and then they closed it down. Don't quote me on that, but like, yeah, I like how they keep Iceland. And yeah, it's just such a cool place. Such a fucking beautiful, magical place.
I was definitely a little bummed I didn't get to see the aurora, but it was cloudy. Yeah. I'll have to go back. Yeah. Was it sunset like almost all day there? No, it was like the sun rose at like 9, set around 5, but it was very long blue hours. Yeah. 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 When we went in February, January. I think January.
And there was not that many clouds. We went during like aurora sighting season where it's clear and all that stuff. We never saw the northern lights, but I just remember like 4-hour sunsets. Like it would be the most magical sunset, just going above the horizon a little bit, peaking, making a beautiful sunset, going back down, making a beautiful sunset. It was so lovely.
It's cool.
It's a cool ass spot.
Different part of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Daylight
All right,
saving. Oh.
Wait, go on.
I was going to say, daylight savings time fuck you up today?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, wait, why am I up at 3 a.m.?
Yeah. It goes from like 1 to 3.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Where does 2 go?
Yeah, I don't know. They just got rid of 2.
It's fucked. Yeah, I was like on my phone because I got back from work last night at midnight. And so I was just like on my phone, like watching YouTube and playing a game or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's 1. I should probably go to bed soon. I was like, it's 3 a.m.? What the fuck happened? It was trippy. So I went to bed at like 3:30. And I'm like, I'm sleeping in today.
Good for you.
No, till like 9.
Oh, yeah. Which is really 8.
Yeah.
But it's 9.
Yeah.
Which start thinking it's 9.
So I'm tired. Did it fuck you up?
I woke up and I was like, oh, like, I woke up at like 8:30. I was like, oh, wow, like, it's up till 8:30 because I'm still like jet lagged. So I'm waking up at like 7:30. And I was like, oh, it's actually the same time. I was just like, oh, I just have 1 less hour to, do everything I need to do this morning.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
It's good times.
Yeah, it is a good time. I just wish that wasn't a thing. Like, why do we
It'd be nice to just stay on this one.
This one's amazing. You have longer days.
Let's just stay with this one.
Yeah.
We don't need to keep doing this.
The sun is up till 7 p.m. tonight or 6.
It's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah. Let's keep it this way.
Yeah.
let's just stick with this one. It sounds better.
All right, I gotta pee.
Good.
Shall we end?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you.
This is awesome. Scotch Talks.